Oh boy. I can't believe my next rant is what it is. I need first of all to apologize to all my First Nations friends and those I don't know. Because I can't believe that I would presume to speak on your behalf. Doesn't sit well with me. But I got some words. I'm not going to bother telling you how it got sparked, but it essentially was someone directly saying that he didn't see why he didn't have the right to wear a feathered headdress if he felt like it. One thing I can tell you for sure is the First Nations people have asked us not to wear a facsimile of a First Nations headdress or other head decorations, not to wear their regalia. It's not a costume. Let's get that clear. It's regalia. It is equal to donning the full-dress military uniform of a Marine while wearing borrowed, stolen, or purchased medals, unearned, when you have never even seen boot camp. It is equal to that in disrespect. I think there's a lot of people can understand it in that context. Imagine if it was a Marine uniform. How would you feel? Oh, a lot of First Nations people, and I'm going to call them Indians because it's a lot easier and it's what everyone says, and there are Indian things in Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan Indian Institute of Technology, Saskatchewan Indian and Gaming Authority, Saskatchewan Indian, I lose track, so Indians. It's, lost my thread there. Yeah, well, we've been asked. It's pretty simple, and they've lost a lot of people. They've lost more people than we've lost warriors. I wouldn't be surprised. I think so. The trouble is, I'm not sure anybody ever bothered counting how many people they were slaughtering as they conquered with a combination of lies and utter cruelty. An entire continent full of people who they were just decimated by trickery before they got it. They just lost. It's that simple. They just lost. The entire damn continent went down, and it's insane. That sort of thing happens. It happens. But these people are still with us, and they're real people, and they're valid people, and they're wonderful, amazing, interesting people. And we're destroying that by disrespecting them. We've got a magical, wonderful, special, amazing core at the heart of this Turtle Island, our continent, which, by the way, is not North America. It's Turtle Island. That's the name of this continent. Wouldn't it be lovely if we called it that? These are the people who belong to it. These are the people who got here before us. I know we all evolved in Africa. If we all went back, Africa would be even more crowded. That wouldn't work either, would it? We've been leaving Africa for a long, long time. We're just all got to get along. And it starts with respecting each other. Person shouldn't have to ask you twice. If something bothers them and it's trivial to you, subject over. You say, oh, I'm sorry, no problem. And that's the end of it. You move on to something else. And that's what headdresses are to us, whiteys. They're a decoration. Most of us don't even understand at the base of it what it is all about. I've only got a vague clue from living saturated in that culture here in Saskatchewan. I still don't fully understand. I don't have to respect. It's beautiful. It's interesting. I want to see more of that culture injected into the architecture. I want to see it stamped on the cities. I want to see it included in the future. I want these people brought forward with their culture as intact as it can be, as salvaged as we can make it, We're not going to get there because somebody's disrespecting them. And now let's turn around and think about some of the other people who've been severely disrespected to the point that they have an actual social and economic disadvantage here in the 21st century. Many of the other people of color. And redheads. Not all. That's an interesting thing. It really certainly puts the lie to racism, doesn't it? That you can have redheads bottom and top. It's a redhead sandwich. Okay, never mind. I used to like redheads until 2016, that's all. You have legal rights. I have the right, for instance, to stand here and spout this nonsense as I like. In fact, if I want to, I could stand out in my lawn and spout it. I can't spout it with a megaphone because that's breaking the noise laws. I can go down to the park and I can sit on a bench and I can spout it. I could probably stand on a soapbox. There's a very good chance. Now, I know from past experience from a man who used to do exactly this, that if what you say is outrageous enough that people are getting genuinely upset, they will interfere. Someone will interfere. And if it's not the police who haul you away to the mental house, which is what usually happened to the fellow, someone in the crowd assaults you, which is the other thing that often happened to the fellow, which often led to the police leading him away. And then at the hospital to treat the broken nose, they'd be having the conversation about the mental health ward. And the guy would be locked up yet again. No trial. No choice. So there is a point at which free speech dies. And that's an important point to make. Because, yeah, you got a right to free speech. But it's not supposed to cover everything. It's supposed to cover your legal, political speech. It's supposed to cover your right to complain against those in power over you. This has to do with your relationship to the government, your legal rights. Just because you have a right to carry a gun doesn't mean you should. Just because you have a right to speak your mind doesn't mean you should. This is the part where your social obligations and the social laws come in place. These things are person to person. These things are older than government. They're as old as family. And it's simple consideration. It's caring about how the other one feels. It's showing respect. And when someone communicates with you in need, like, please don't bring down the value of our regalia by wearing it on Halloween to our front door and asking for candy. Why would you even question it? It's such a simple ask. There's so many other alternatives. You know, white people can wear regalia. I swear it. I know a fella. He was a postal carrier until he retired, but he was also a member of a tribe in Mexico, a First Nations tribe. He was adopted into the tribe as a grown man and spent half of his life living down there in Mexico and half of his life living up here in Canada, reaping the benefits of of living cheaply in Mexico and still having an income from his pension. He was able to improve the whole village. And he was given honors of regalia. He was given, people make it for you, and they give it to you. I was once given an eagle feather. I had it for a while, and it was a beautiful gift, and I really appreciated it, but it never felt right, and I understand why. And one day I met a young woman who needed it so bad, and she was First Nations, that it was the perfect home. And I understood finally why it came through me, just so I could transport it from where I got it to where I sent it. And that worked for me. I liked that. And I never did use it in any kind of ceremonial capacity. I just kind of kept it as a precious, appreciated thing. Yeah. So, you know, we are often invited to the ceremonies. I think you should go. I think you should have a look at your nearest tribe's calendar and look for any ceremonies or events or parties that are open to outsiders. because you'd be surprised how often a powwow really does want you to come. You just pay for a ticket like anything else. Come and see the show. Enjoy, appreciate our spectacle. Look at how proud and beautiful we can be. Go. It's wonderful. And then you get to meet people, and they're amazing people. First Nations people are some of the warmest and most joyous people that I've run into. It's no wonder that white people are considered cold by just about, by a lot of other cultures. I should say it that way. We are very inhibited in our expression. And maybe you're one of those people and you'll never wear an Indian headdress unless it's given to you by an Indian as part of being part of their community. Welcome as a friend and family member, because that's how it works. And if you want to wear feathers, just wear feathers. Just avoid copying the way they're wearing the feathers. Don't wear the iconic look. It's not that hard. I've often put feathers in my braids just because I like to wear feathers. And if I'm walking home and I find feathers, this is where I stick them. And so I may have a whole bunch of feathers sticking out of my hair sometimes when I'm on my way home because I found all these really pretty feathers. And that's not regalia at all. Not at all. It's not about the feather in the hair. Women wearing feathers on their hats, it's not about that. I have a mask I made all out of feathers. It doesn't look anything like an Indian thing, even though it's even got a crown of feathers that go out this way. It looks like a bird with a Wookiee face. It does not look First Nations in any way. It doesn't trade on any of their design aesthetic at all, really. It's just about respect. It really is. It's not hard. I will admit, though, even when you're trying, the sheer ignorance of growing up white can have some really catastrophic results. And you're still going to step on toes. And when you step on those toes, do us all a favor and just apologize for it. And regret the friendship you're going to miss. Or maybe they'll let you get over it. If you keep running into that person and you keep trying your best to be a nice person, like anyone else, they're going to forgive you. We're all just people.